Scene opens on a person, the protagonist, sitting at their desk looking overwhelmed. Their shoulders are slumped, and they stare blankly at a computer screen. A faint, shadowy figure looms behind them, its form indistinct. We can't hear what it's saying, but its presence is heavy and menacing. Soft, melancholic music plays. Have you ever felt a constant, nagging presence in the back of your mind? Magnifies your flaws and whispers that you're not good enough. It's a heavy shadow that follows you, turning your brightest moments grey and making every challenge feel like an insurmountable mountain. This is the voice of the inner critic, a phantom built from past fears and future anxieties. It thrives in the silence, gaining power from your unspoken doubts. But what if you could turn down the volume? What if you could step out of that shadow and into the light? The journey begins not with a battle, but with a single courageous act of recognition. The protagonist closes their laptop, takes a deep breath, and pulls out a journal and a pen. They pause for a moment, then begin to write. As they write the name, perhaps something like the judge or Mr. Perfection. The camera focuses on the shadowy figure in the background, which flinches and recoils slightly, its form becoming a little less defined. The first step is to separate yourself from the voice. To reclaim your power, you must first identify it. Take out a piece of paper, open a journal, and give that voice a name. It might sound silly, but this simple act of externalization is profound. By naming it, you are drawing a line in the sand. You are acknowledging that this critical narrative is not the core of who you are, but rather a pattern of thought. This act transforms an all-encompassing feeling of inadequacy into a specific, manageable entity. It's no longer an inseparable part of you. It's a character in your story, and you are the author. You get to decide how loud its voice is and how much space it takes up. The scene shifts. The protagonist is now listening to the critic, but with a new perspective. The shadow's voice is audible for the first time. A barrage of negativity like, "You'll never finish this. Everyone's better than you." However, the voice is comically sped up and high-pitched like a cartoon character. A small, knowing smile plays on the protagonist's lips. Now that your critic has a name, it's time to change your relationship with it. Instead of fighting its words, try observing them with a sense of distance and even humor. Imagine that critical voice speaking in a ridiculous tone, sped up, squeaky, or perhaps like a melodramatic movie villain. This technique, called cognitive diffusion, helps you detach from the content of the thoughts and see them for what they are. Just words, not absolute truths. When you hear it say, "You're going to fail," you can smile and think, "Ah, there's the judge again, doing its usual routine." This simple shift in perspective strips the words of their emotional weight and robs the critic of its power to intimidate. The protagonist is now sitting quietly in a comfortable chair. They gently place a hand over their heart, close their eyes, and take a slow, deliberate breath. As they exhale, the shadow figure behind them becomes noticeably more transparent and less menacing. The lighting in the room grows warmer. After you observe the critic, the next step is to answer it not with an argument, but with compassion. Your inner critic often stems from a deep-seated need to protect you from failure or rejection. Acknowledge its intention, however misguided, and then offer yourself the kindness it denies you. Place a hand over your heart and speak to yourself as you would a dear friend. Say, "This is a moment of suffering. It's hard right now, but I'm doing the best I can." This practice of self-compassion isn't about ignoring your flaws. With each compassionate breath, you soothe the fear that fuels the critic, allowing it to soften and fade. The protagonist is now having coffee with a friend. They are animated, talking and laughing openly. The friend listens with empathy. In the background, the shadow figure is now a faint, barely visible shimmer, almost completely gone. Shame and criticism thrive in isolation. The final step in dissolving your critic's power is to share your story. When you voice your fears and insecurities to someone you trust, you expose the critic's lies to the light of day. A trusted friend, a family member, or a therapist can offer perspective, reminding you that your struggles are human, and your worth is not defined by your productivity or perfection. Hearing someone else say, "I feel that way too," is one of the most powerful antidotes to the critic's narrative of alienation. And you are worthy of love and acceptance just as you are. The final scene shows the protagonist walking confidently through a bright, sunlit park. The air is clear, the colors are vibrant, and there is no trace of the shadow figure. They walk with a relaxed posture. It's a daily practice of awareness, humor, compassion, and connection. It's about learning to become your own greatest ally instead of your own worst enemy. As you continue to practice, you'll notice the voice becomes quieter, the shadows recede, and you begin to inhabit your life with a newfound sense of freedom and self-worth. You start to trust yourself, to take risks, and to live more authentically. You were never the problem. The only thing that needed to change was the way you spoke to yourself. Now, look ahead. Your path is clear, the sun is warm, and you are finally walking free.